Are you feeling overwhelmed by taxes, uncertain about your business finances, or worried about protecting what you already have built? Well, you're not alone, and there's a better way. I'm Ashley Freeman. I'm a tax and asset protection attorney, and this is Tax and Money Mastery, where faith meets financial wisdom. Each week, I'll show you how to legally reduce your taxes, manage your money with clarity, and protect your business and personal assets so that you can focus on what truly matters most: God, family, and career. Proverbs 10:22 says, "The blessing of the Lord makes one rich. He adds no sorrow." So grab your coffee and settle in. This is a podcast you can't afford to miss. Hey y'all, welcome to Tax and Money Mastery. Today's going to be a little bit different podcast. I made up this game where I work. It's for when we have lulls and people don't have any questions. I call it Tax Me If You Can. And these are just kind of silly and goofy, but it'll help you to remember different things for taxes. All right, so this one happens to be geared towards Christmas because we're 6 days away from Christmas? It's getting close. So, like I said, this is more of a Q&A, and let's just have some fun with it and maybe learn something along the way. All right, first question. Can Santa deduct the cost of cookies left out for him? Okay, let's think about that for a minute. Can Santa deduct the cost of cookies left out for him? Well, and I've had people ask questions like this. Think about it. Did Santa pay for those cookies? Did Santa pay to make those cookies? No. The person whose house it is paid for the cookies. If anyone could deduct it, it would be the person that made the cookies. Now, the only way that would be deductible would be if Santa were maybe a client of the person who owns the house, or the person who owns the house was trying to gain Santa as a client. So cookies could be deductible. Boy, if I can talk today, Santa's cookies could be deductible. It wouldn't be any different than, like when you go into the Edward Jones office and they've got cookies sitting there. They're kind of a convenience for the guests, but those are a deductible item because they're for your guests or they're for your clients. All right, question 2. Are Santa's reindeer considered employees or independent contractors? This is a good one. It's the end of the year. 1099s are coming out soon, and people need to know this. So are Santa's reindeer considered employees or independent contractors? So the IRS is going to be the one that determines if they're employees or contractors by their rules. Now you have to look at both the state rules and the federal rules, because sometimes the state rules are a little bit different for who's an independent contractor. But in Santa's case, the reindeer, Santa controls the route. He sets the schedule. He tells the reindeer when they have to be there. He provides all the carrots, on-the-job carrots. The reindeer, in this case, would be considered W-2 employees. Whenever you're in doubt and you're really not sure, you're better off to make them a W-2 employee than a 1099. Like I said, be sure to check both the state and the federal guidelines for wherever you live to determine if that person is going to be a W-2 or 1099. Is a Christmas tree tax deductible? Well, it could be. So it depends. So if this is your Christmas tree going into your house for your personal use, no. If it's a Christmas tree that's used exclusively for your business, then it may be. If it's decor that you're buying for your office, maybe. Possibly even a percentage of it, maybe if you have a home office and you have clients come into your home, like maybe you're a real estate agent or something, or some type of contractor, and you have clients over on a regular basis. It could be, a percentage of the tree could be deductible for that. Also, if maybe you're a landscaper and you do Christmas trees, decorating and things like that in the winter, your tree could be deductible. So it depends on what the tree is being used for, if it's going to be deductible or not. Number 4, can I write off all the gifts I bought this year? Well, when I was in Mary Kay, we used to do that. And we would buy people gifts give people gifts as like a marketing tool. So it depends on who you're giving the gift to. It depends on what your purpose for the gift is, and if it's business prospects or not. If they're just your family, no, it's not going to be deductible because that's going to be a personal expense, and personal expenses are not deductible. But if they're a prospect and you want to give them a gift, just like, your W-2 job, they may give you a gift at work for the holidays or something, that would be deductible to them up to a certain amount. If you go over that amount, that excess is not going to be deductible. Number 5, are elves entitled to overtime pay? Well, the IRS does not make special exceptions for magical beings performing toy production services. So they are entitled to overtime pay just like anybody else. There is a new provision in the Big Beautiful Bill Act that overtime pay up to a certain amount is no longer taxed. So that's kind of a bonus perk this year that we received. Okay, is a lump of coal taxable? If you got coal in your stocking, if you get lemons, make lemonade. So if you receive the coal as a gift, it's not taxable. Just like in our last podcast, Alive or Dead, it's not going to be taxable. Gifts are not taxable. That would be podcast number 10, I think, if anybody needs to know about gifting and gift tax. If you turn around and you sell the coal so that somebody can put it in the furnace and heat with it or something, then congratulations, you just started a side business. You made your gift taxable. All right, number 7. Can I claim my Christmas lights as a utility expense? Only if they're necessary for your business operations. Attracting neighborhood admiration like Christmas vacation, that would not make it deductible as a business expense. If you are someone who does lighting, maybe that's your side gig, you go around and you put up people's Christmas lights and things like that, then your lights may be deductible as an advertising expense for your business. Does Santa qualify for the mileage deduction? Calculating roof landings at the standard mileage rate this year is going to be 70 cents a mile. But the reindeer, well, they're still under review by the IRS Flight Plan Path Division. So mileage, if it's for business, it is definitely deductible or reimbursable if you have a C Corp or an S Corp, as long as it's for business. Now, there's nothing that says you can't make a stop on the way to your business meeting to pick up a few groceries, right? But your main purpose needs to be business. Number 9, can the Grinch claim the Who's after he steals Christmas? Unfortunately, the Grinch cannot claim the Who's on his tax, on his 1040. The Who's remain independent taxpayers. They're not living with him. He's not providing, shelter or food. He's not providing for them. So even though he stole everything, not going to get a deduction. So you might as well bring it back, old Grinchy. Number 10, are candy canes deductible as office supplies? Well, only if they're used exclusively for employees and for like holiday parties, things like that. Speaking of holiday parties, if you have an S Corp or C Corp and you have a holiday party, that can count as one of your 280A meetings. Your 280A is the Augusta rule. Some of you know it by that, the Augusta rule. But that can be totally deductible and reimbursed to you. So have the holiday party at your house. Send us a bill to your C or your S corporation and pocket that money and get a tax deduction for it at the same time. That's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love doing Tax Me if you can. It's really fun. And I just had a hard time talking today. I was like all tongue jumbled. But if this podcast blessed you in any way, which, I don't know, it may be, maybe not so much today. But I just hope you enjoyed it anyways and got a good laugh maybe out of it. And I hope to see you in the next podcast. In the meantime, God bless. Have a good day.